Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and well, do you know what? This is actually one of my favourite looking locks, and it's made in Taiwan, but it's made really well. And why I like it, well, I just love the shape and the feel and the look of this thing. It's just surprisingly tactile. It's surprisingly just really, really nice. It's got a 55mm wide body. It's hardened alloy steel shackle. I'm not entirely sure what the body is, but I'm guessing some kind of coated brass. It's got a 6-pin Dimple cylinder, and it's got a double ball locking mechanism at the top too. So, I mean, clearly with such a thin shackle, it's not going to be one of the highest security locks. But that being said, the tolerances on this lock are pretty nice. It looks pretty good. It is a hardened shackle, and it's a dimple lock configuration. It's a little bit different. It's a little harder to tension. So all in all, I actually think this is definitely the top of the mid-range in terms of security. And you know, they're around $20 to $30 depending where you buy them. They're just really, really nice locks. There is a bitting on this one, and you see that it's not quite a smiley dimple. It doesn't have that kind of curve. It's a bit more angular and angry looking, and it's very, very smooth. Now the thing about this dimple lock is it has a sidebar. It isn't a straight dimple lock. There isn't a Bible with some driver pins in that you don't have to reach the pins to shear, but the key pins, all 6 of them, actually have a cut in them. They look like some kind of weird spool, actually, some kind of torpedo spool, but they've got a cut in them at different heights relating to the bitting on the key, when all of those cuts are at the same height. There's a sidebar in here which retracts into those cuts and allows the core to turn. We'll hopefully gut it later and you'll see how it really works. But yeah, for now, let's go grab a vise, let's throw this in, let's get some dimple picks and go for it. Okay, as you can see, we're in the vise, and the lock opens and closes very nicely. There is the bitting again. It's quite nice having the very low number 1 cut there and the low 5. And to tension it, I think I've got the right tension tool. Let's try, is it this one? Yeah, so it's off center, so you've got to sort of push up a little bit as you tension. That's what I find anyway. So it's sort of not just pull to the left to provide clockwise torque. It's sort of up and left, which is a bit weird. And nothing on 1, something on 2, but I'm not happy with that. 4, a little something. 5, a little click. 6, a click back to the beginning. 1, nothing. 2, little click. 3, little click there. Keep going along. Back to 6. That's nice. 2 now, I think. Pin 1's nothing. Just release some of the tension. Easy to overset some of these little pins in here. So sometimes you just have to come back off that tension, give it a little pulse. 2, 3, 4, little movement there. Got a little movement. Ah, there we are, we're open. Do you see how it just hung up there? It just hung up a little bit, didn't it? And I had to just wiggle that tension. I felt it go. I don't know whether that's because the tension is off center slightly, or whether it's just the sidebar not catching quite in, or easily is overset. Daz Evers lent me a black one of these, and I picked it quite a lot, but inconsistently. And in the end I thought, you know what, I'm just going to buy my own one, not to make it easier, but because I was terrified of sort of damaging the pins, because they, well, when you have a look inside, you'll see that these are, well, quite prone to wear, I think is the right term. Now, this is another thing. I looked down the shackle hole there, and I just thought, oh, that's a little Torx screw. So I got my set out and I tried. Then I realised that that isn't sort of a little manufacturing mark. It's a Dimple. It's a security one. So I found that the only thing I had which could open this up was this flathead screwdriver. So that's a bit weird, but it seems to work fine and not under much. There you go. It doesn't seem to damage the head or anything. I'll show you that. See the little dimple there? So I'm like, okay, well, if it doesn't damage it, right. I haven't gutted one of these for a very long time, so I do remember losing a lot of springs the last time that I tried this. I lost so many, and I can't remember why, and I'm probably going to find out in the worst possible way as well. Make sure that's all locked up. Yes, it is. Okay, use this gut wrench on here if I can. Oh yeah, we got it off, I think. Yeah, good. There we go. Come on, gentle, don't damage it. Good. Okay. We're gonna need some shims, I think. What else is going on here? What's moving? Not a lot, just that core. And there's a sidebar in there somewhere, isn't there? So can we just slide that out then? Yeah. Okay. We don't need a follower. Good. Okay, right, I honestly haven't gutted one of these for such a long time. There's the sidebar. Let's move that out of the way, and the springs. Can you see that? It's going to pop that here, because that's where it was. And at the top here, nothing. Underneath, nothing. Okay, so how do we open that? Probably with this flathead screwdriver, I guess. Oh yes, and this is why I remember losing all the springs. Right, let's take the key out so we don't lose anything. That's the top then. And then let's try and do one pin chamber at a time without flinging the springs everywhere. And you can see the shape of these, hopefully, even from... Oh, no, I've literally just lost the spring. I'll find that in a second. I don't know what it is about these little springs, but they are just the bane of my existence. They really are. They go everywhere. And they're so frustrating, like really frustrating. I don't know what it is about them. They just have a little life of their own. They're like little fleas. So yeah, I've learned that I really do not like gutting these Zeta locks at all. There we go. Right. Good stuff. Let me just see if I can quickly find that missing spring. Can't be too far away. Got it. Phew. Saves time to look on my carpet. Okay, so here we go. There is the oh, there's a core. So there is the set of pins. They are all standard, but they do have this little notch in, as you can see here, at different positions. So you'd have to align all the pins to the right height so that this cutout on the pins is all at the same alignment, so that the sidebar could slide in. If I just show you one of these pins, let's try that one, and rotate it round a little bit, you might see some marking there. Can you see some marking on the pins? Where you apply quite a lot of force to the pins. The brass is soft and the sidebar is obviously some kind of steel, and it does dig into these pins. I found it actually over time wears them down quite rapidly against this relatively sharp piece of steel, which is the sidebar. The sidebar, of course, goes in here. The pins are in that side. Yeah, so the sidebar is there, and it's sprung like that, and that sticks out in a groove in the body here. Can you see that groove just down there? And that's where it sits like that, and it won't rotate until all the pins are aligned, that little cutout is at the right height to allow that sidebar to, there you go, like that, to go all the way in to the core. So there you go. There aren't any drivers. There doesn't need to be any drivers in here. The key pins themselves are their own key pins and drivers in this lock, if you catch me drift. And there you go. That's the really, really lovely Zeta lock. It is really one of the most satisfying feeling locks. It's got a beautiful kind of like satin finish on it, and it just looks great, doesn't it? Anyway, hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you all next time.